Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to go back to the introducing me section. So this time it's bipolar again. But we're going to look at the depressive side of bipolar, so the low moods. So as always, this is my experience with bipolar, with low moods, with bipolar depression, mental health, mental illness. So someone else that experiences bipolar depression, mental health, might experience it very differently. So we'll be just doing the trigger warning. So really all I'll be talking about is bipolar, mental illness, bipolar depression. There's a little bit of on suicidal thoughts. It could be quite triggering if you've experienced depression or if you know someone that experienced depression. So yeah. So basically, so the low moods then of bipolar, so it's just it's massive, like it's severe depression. So I was just thinking the other day as well, with bipolar, energy is very important. So when you're having a manic episode, you're full of energy, you have high energy, and then when you're depressed, in your depressive episode, you have low energy. So energy is very important with bipolar, and it's important to note as well that in between the high moods and the low moods, that there's a stable mood and just where you're doing well and stuff. And for me personally, I'm spending a lot of time lately at the stable mood, thank God. So just so you know, it's just not high or low, that there is an in between as well. And obviously, for different types of bipolar, there's different phases. So getting into the low mood then, so the depressive episode, and it's basically low energy. So you're feeling really low, really tired. Yeah, so it's just really bad form to be in. So what I notice when I'm low, things that normally wouldn't bother me is a big, massive deal when I'm depressed. I'm worrying about everything. I'm worrying about little things start bothering me, like, oh, he said this or she said this, or just small stupid things that happen every day in my life, but when I'm low they're such a big deal. And then, like, you're negative. So basically the metaphor for this is you have negative glasses or negative goggles, and you're viewing the whole world through negative lenses. So everything's negative and you're worrying about everything. Everything's a big deal. You could be quite irritable. You could be causing a lot of trouble when for no need. You could be snapping. Everything's negative, and you don't really see the bright side of things. So do you know when, like, you have positive outlook in life, this is just the negative outlook, and things are just really sad and really low, and yeah, it's just the way it is. And sometimes as well, I like to sit with the negative feelings. I like to feel sad for a while. I like to listen to sad music. I like to look at photos. I like sitting with the feeling for a while. But at the same time, like everything, you have to keep track of how you're doing, how unwell you're getting. You have to know kind of what supports you need. Um, yeah, for me as a teenager, I would have went through weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of just maybe months of being low and seeing everything through negative lights. And it does come a part where the person experiencing these thoughts and these moods can actually be scared. It's a scary experience. It's actually shitty to be feeling like this. Yeah, like sometimes it's just depression. No matter how hard you feel, like no matter how hard you fight, it's just you're gonna feel shit. You're depressed. You're gonna feel in a bad mood. Um, yeah, and it did impact me big time. It stopped me, like, looking back on it. My teenage years were ruined due to depression and bipolar and all that stuff. Like, a lot of my teenage years I spent, like, basically healing and in recovery from mental health that kind of set myself up now for doing so well. But yeah, like I would have spent an awful lot of time watching films and on my own and different things. I think a key thing with this as well is isolate yourself. So even for my closest friends and family, like I would be a little bit gammy with them when I'm moved. Like not because I'm doing it on purpose, because I literally change. Like I often could be a different person. Like I just get really withdrawn, really like low on myself, out of character big time. I'd be out of character. Like I wouldn't laugh at things. I'd just be miserable. Um, yeah. But I think a key thing with depression is isolate. You want to be on your own, withdraw from things and avoid things. So like, I avoided my peers big time in school, and like withdraw. Like I wouldn't go to different events and parties and different things, and some of it is just down to my mental health. Um, and even with depression as well, some of it's very very irritable. You're annoyed and yeah, you're just yeah. Some of it's very irritable. Guilt is a feeling that pops up a lot. You feel guilty about things. It's unnatural though. You feel like you're really really bad. So another thing, like some of like with bipolar, some of it is actually really opposite. Because when you're high and you're in a manic, your confidence in your esteem goes way up, and there's no one like you, and you're the best in the world. But when you're depressed, it's way down. And oh, I can't do that, and oh, I'm so ugly and so disgusting. No one likes me. Um, you're just it's one extreme to the other, and then yeah. So when you're fragile, so I was going around the place when I was a teenager, and I was forced to go into school, which I don't think was the right setting for me. And then when I went into school, I was like a little fragile, um, I don't know, cup or glass or something that's all ready to fall to piece. Or even, do you know, the bucket when it's filled to the top with all the stress you have, and then you go into school and someone calls you ugly, or someone calls you a disease, or someone calls you a name, and they're adding to the bucket and adding to the bucket, and next thing, bang. Like, I was very, very, my mental health had me in a bad way, and I was going around the place very, very, very fragile. And all it would take is one smart comment, one smart thing, and bang. Um, and then um, you can get, when you're getting sicker and sicker, you can get to the stage where you have suicidal thoughts. And yeah, you're just suicidal. You're having suicidal thoughts. It doesn't mean you're going to act on it. It's just the way you're feeling. Um, and it can be very hard to sleep as well with your racing mind and stuff like that. It can be very, very hard to sleep. You'll be up all night with your thoughts and stuff, and it'd be very hard to settle yourself.